Ladies and gentlemen, I am the American Spy Fox. Welcome to the channel. When things like this pop up in the news, I can't help but talk about it. Courtney Love says she almost died in August of 2020, and get this, not of drugs, from anemia. Someone's in desperate need of attention. Weird that she didn't mention it while it was happening, while she was dying in the hospital. Do you think Courtney Love could keep that a secret? Forget the fact that several times throughout the decades she has admitted to being a crack addict. Forget the fact that every 2 years she tells us she's been sober for 1 to 8 years. So nobody can keep track of when she's sober and when she's not. She claims that anemia almost took her life and that CBD oil saved it. Coincidentally, an anemic person has a shortage of red blood cells, and if you follow me on Facebook, you know that yesterday I went to the American Red Cross and I donated what they call a power red donation. That's where they separate the red blood cells from the plasma. They pump the plasma back in your body. So don't think that I am not empathetic to people who actually suffer from anemia. I'm out there, I'm giving my red blood cells to people. I wonder if an anemic Courtney Love will end up with American Spy Fox's red blood cells. Wouldn't that be amazing? Now, we are going to get to the article in a minute, but let me first say anemia is not a joke, nor are the benefits of CBD oil. But what is a joke is when a seasoned crack addict blames their drug addiction on anemia, taking away from people who actually suffer from it. I know someone who suffered from anemia. It's horrible, but don't blame addiction on something that it's not. As for CBD oil, I know people who suffered from arthritic pain, from back pain, who started taking CBD oil, and it really helped them. About 6 months ago, I was even willing to take on a CBD oil sponsorship, but after negotiating with them, they decided that my channel was, get this, too sensitive for CBD oil. Okay. 2 days ago, March 15th, 2021 at 6:46 p.m. And by the way, let me go ahead and thank a subscriber named Kath for sending this over to me at americanspyfox@gmail.com. People magazine uploads an article. Courtney Love says she almost died last year from anemia. I've been sad and extremely sick. I've been basically bedridden. I thought I was broken for sure this time, Courtney Love wrote on an Instagram Sunday. The thing about drugs and alcohol is after a while, they start to work against you. Trust me, been there, done that. They will cause depression, and no matter how hard you try, no matter how much booze you drink or how many drugs you pump into your body, you just get sadder and sadder. Especially if you're a self-admitted speed addict like Courtney Love. Your brain will stop producing serotonin. You're pushing these chemicals into your brain, and the brain says, I don't have to do this anymore. I don't have to produce this chemical anymore because someone's polluting me with more than enough. After you do it for years and years, your brain just says, fuck it, you can't fire me because I quit, and it stops producing happy juice. Could that possibly be an explanation for why Courtney is feeling so sad? Let's look further into the article. Courtney tells us in August of 2020, I was debilitated, in indescribable pain, and in August at 97 pounds, almost died in hospital from anemia. I find it funny that Courtney spends a lot of her time in London. Matter of fact, I think she's living in London now, and British people say go to hospital, in hospital. Americans say at the hospital, died in the hospital. Just an interesting detail I noticed. Courtney is taking on a British way of speaking. So here's our first clue. I was stigmatized for being an addict for 9 months by many ill-equipped doctors, backwards doctors, and quacks, while in debilitating acute pain. Medical technology has come a very long way since the days Kurt Cobain was seeking pain management for his stomach issues, and we're going to talk about him in a minute because Courtney brings him up too. These doctors that she calls quacks, these backwards doctors, they would have taken Courtney's urine, they would have taken her blood, they would have ran all kinds of tests. So were they stigmatizing her as an addict, or it would be my guess, my speculation, that Courtney probably had a variety of narcotics within her system, and these doctors, being professionals, decided not to treat her until she decided to get sober. Why else would Courtney go to so many doctors? In the drug world, this is called shopping around. You shop doctors until you find one who will ignore all of the addiction signs and give you what you want. Every now and then, what they call Hollywood doctors, they'll treat celebrities. No matter how many drugs they're on, they will treat them and give them whatever they want. Could it be that Courtney just found a doctor who didn't care that she's on drugs? Lots of people, when they think of Courtney Love and drug addiction, they think benzodiazepam, they think Xanax, Ativan. But Courtney, on more than one occasion on the record, has admitted to being a speed addict, to freebasing cocaine, to being a crack addict. In fact, she does go on to tell us that she found the most empathetic, wise pain management doctor. Pain management doctor, and she's so grateful. "I'm good now," she assured fans, explaining that CBD oil has removed almost all the physical symptoms and all the pain. So you had to go to a doctor to figure out that you could buy an over-the-counter product and manage all of your pain? She does not end her rant before name-dropping another more famous celebrity. In her post, Love also thanked actor Woody Harrelson for first introducing her to the many uses of hemp back in the day, saying, "You were right." The People vs. Larry Flynt was made in what? The late 90s, 96, 97, 98, somewhere around there. It took you this long to try out Woody Harrelson's advice, and you're just now thanking him? Seems to me like Courtney just wanted to name drop. The whole front woman, who announced last February that she's been sober for more than a year, added that she's still 100% sober. "I've been sober since the day my daughter was born 10 years ago. Do you know how many times I've told people that I'm still sober? Zero. People who are sober don't feel the need to continuously tell others that they're sober." This is the point in the video where I could show all the different clips from interviews from the last 25 years of Courtney saying she's been sober for 1 year. I've been sober for 5 years. I've been sober for 8 years. Is there really any point? You guys know, I know, that woman has not been sober a day in her life. Within this article, we have a related article. Frances Bean Cobain reveals she thought she might die after plane she was on caught fire. We'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about Kurt Cobain for a moment. According to the Mayo Clinic, anemia is a condition caused by a lack of red blood cells in the body, leading to reduced oxygen flow to the organs. And again, I just donated my red blood cells yesterday. I really hope they go to Courtney Love. Factors that could increase the risk of anemia include family genes, chronic conditions, and intestinal disorders such as Crohn's disease, which Love added as a hashtag in her post. Is it me, or is being sick almost trendy now? Having a peanut allergy, or being allergic to gluten, or I'm anemic. You know, it always seems like everybody wants something to be wrong with them so they can get a pill that will fix it all. Let me talk to my fellow Americans for a moment. We eat like shit. We drink beer and we do drugs and we don't exercise. That's what's fucking wrong with you. If you don't want to be lethargic, stop doing all the American shit we do. And I've been guilty of it too in my life. I'm not saying it's everybody else. I'm a part of this. That's why I know. You don't need a doctor. You need to live healthier. Courtney Love is 2 years older than Kurt Cobain. You telling me last year at 55 years old, she suddenly developed these problems that develop in people typically when they're very young? All of a sudden at 55, in 2015, Love revealed that her late husband, Nirvana frontman Kurt Cobain, had sought treatment for Crohn's disease while struggling with chronic stomach pain. Here we have a nice picture of Kurt. You gotta love the glasses. Let me add, Courtney is guessing. No doctor ever figured out exactly what Kurt's problem was, although it was cured. She's just calling it Crohn's disease because that's what she thought of at the moment. I love it how he decided to patch up the holes in his jeans. Like, fuck it, I won't buy new jeans. I'll just patch these ones up. He's got the rainbow at the bottom. As we all know, Kurt was a feminist and stood up for homosexual rights. He had something really wrong with him. We had really nascent young management at the time around us. They were really irresponsible to an extent. I don't think they meant to be, but they were. I don't think they were trying to be irresponsible at all. I just think that modern medicine had not advanced enough to treat Kurt the way he needed to be treated. However, one doctor did get lucky. To this day, Courtney Love will tell you that Kurt's stomach issues is part of the reason he committed suicide, that his pain drove him to suicide.
How's your stomach? Do you find anything to...
It's gone. I finally have been prescribed the right stomach medicine after 6 years of being in constant pain. Finally, I haven't had a stomach problem for like over a year now.
Did they finally figure out what it was?
No, they never figured out what it was. I mean, most gastrointestinal doctors don't know anything about stomach diseases. They just have a PhD.
Let me say this for the 100th time, and I just read an article recently about Kurt Cobain's stomach issues and how it drove him to suicide. Kurt Cobain himself, in 1992, 2 full years before his death, told an MTV reporter his stomach pains were gone. It was done. It was over. The stomach issues were not a contributing factor to suicide. It was finished 2 years before his death. Can we please all agree to this? This subject is yet another reason that I am so suspicious of Courtney Love. She was with him. She knew better than anyone that his stomach issues were treated and that he felt so much better. Why would she continue to this day to try and make people believe that it drove him to suicide? We finished the last paragraph with Courtney actually being a human being. I agree with her. I respect her for this, if it's true. I think he should have been taken to the Mayo Clinic or whatever, but we did have Cedars Sinai available to us, so he went there several times for Crohn's disease, endoscopies, a biopsy, over and over and over again. And when people discount his stomach issues, as his manager once faithfully did and was across the hall from me in Dublin when Kurt started puking up bile, I grabbed him by his hair and I said, "You think it's fake? Come look at this." I was so mad. I don't know what it was. Courtney is referring to Danny Goldberg. Danny believed that Kurt didn't have a stomach issue, it was the heroin use. As heroin addicts will tell you, you puke a lot. And let me clarify something. What Danny Goldberg says today in his book and what he thought, said, and felt back then sometimes are two different things. Danny's not going to come forth in his book and say, I thought his stomach issues were bullshit and that he was just a junkie, because he knows that Nirvana fans would get pissed off and not want to purchase his book. So you always have to be thinking what they thought then and what they're saying now. Even Buzz Osborne once said in an interview that he didn't think Kurt Cobain had stomach issues. He thought it was the heroin. Personally, I think it was both. I think it was Kurt did have a stomach issue coupled with heroin use that agitated the source of the problem. But again, and I stress this, and I stress this, and I stress this, share it with your friends, share it with your family, any Nirvana fan you come across, share this with. His stomach issue was resolved. Why is Courtney, even in 2021, saying that we don't know what it was, but it drove him to suicide? That makes me so suspicious. She was the closest to him. She knew that he got past it. Now, just as an added little bonus, let's go ahead and click Frances Bean Cobain reveals she thought she might die. I have not even looked at this yet. Okay, here we go. Frances Bean Cobain opened up about a recent terrifying ordeal where the wing of a plane she was on caught on fire. My My God. The 25-year-old model shared a revealing Instagram post on Friday saying she was aboard a plane that caught fire last week on September 30th. So this is old. This is from 2017. My bad. I've never seen this before. I don't really keep up on the Beaner, but I'll just say that that's there for you guys to read. I'll put the link in the description below. If anything, I hope that this video just spreads the message that Kurt Cobain's stomach issues were already resolved. That's the biggest thing I wanted to get across in this video. I'm sick of seeing articles telling me that his stomach issues led him to suicide. It's just not true. And I hope that you spread the word as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you'd like to support the channel, see me on Patreon or just click the join button. See you in the next video. Bye bye.